One of our leadership tools that we have access to is a dojo, where you kind of build this environment for the team where it's more or less safe to fail.
So you brought in the dojo. We coined that term as one of our leadership tools, right? The dojo, based on the Matrix movies, and especially the first one, where the Morpheus, the mentor leadership character, is creating this curated, safe environment for team members to learn how to do things that are outside of their current skill set, where they fail soft, right? If you fall off the building, you bounce off the incredibly soft, asphalt in the road. But the dojo is a place to learn how to do a thing. But it's also not just, like you said, it's not just grinding. Like, it's super fun. Like, they're getting to be ninjas, and they're kicking each other, and they're jumping off of buildings, and they're flexing their wings. And what we see even in the Matrix is, like, when they're in the dojo, everybody else flocks to the screen and wants to watch what's happening. Like, oh, Morpheus is fighting Neo. This is going to be awesome. Like, there's this sense that everybody's super engaged in the game. Everybody's super engaged in the meta. Like, we love games. The dojo is an incredibly powerful model to get people to put kind of personal creativity into an organizational context by just not telling them exactly what to do, like giving them the challenge and see what happens.
Yeah, and I think there's a good example and a bad example of how to do this, and I've definitely done both, and I've seen people who are really good at creating dojos. So I'll give first maybe the bad example of how to build a dojo. So when I was younger, I would have co-ops that would come into the company, and I would go out and hire the co-ops myself. And so I would pick people exclusively who had high potential. I would often end up hiring co-ops who were freshmen or sophomores because it was easier to find high potential people who were willing to come work with us, who had a little bit less experience, but they had a really good mindset. And so the reason that this all sounds okay, right? Maybe. But what didn't work out was that I was not very good at curating the dojo for these people. And the common thread in their success was if I got the dojo right or not. They were all perfectly capable. These were all high performers. But if they had a great co-op and if they wanted to come back, it pretty much hinged on, did the problem that I asked them to solve allow them enough lateral movement that they could learn and grow and collaborate and come up with their own ideas, but not so much lateral movement that they just got lost in all of it because they were only a freshman in college and they were struggling to be able to figure out what to do with the information that I was giving them. And so I had some examples of co-ops where they did an awesome work, and they came back with these beautiful dashboards that explained the business situation and how to avoid the bad condition and incentivize the good condition and how to track it over time using measures and stuff like that. Awesome. And there were other times where they just came back with a pile of code and they were like, and this is how I've tried to solve this problem, but here's all the reasons I can't actually solve this problem.
Yeah, no, I love that. There is an art to constraining the problem that you give somebody to solve, right? And that's actually not limited to the dojo, right? That's basically any challenge. People are most effective when they have a problem that is slightly too large for their current skill set, but attainable, and they have enough freedom to maneuver around the edges that they can sort of figure out how to get there. And if it's too rigid or too large or too small, there'll be some combination of bored or frustrated and not actually get anything done.
Yeah. And our friend Shabo Bhattacharya, calling Shabo out because we love Shabo. Shabo is the master of the dojo. And I think a lot of what I've learned of the dojo, what Derek learned, and perhaps even what you learned of the dojo has come from Shabo because he knows and he has taught me, like, what you have to do is really consider what this person's learning journey is. Consider first what they want it to be, then how that can align with company's goals, how that can, relay your wisdom as the mentor, as the manager, whatever in the situation. And then you have to, like you said, Brian, you just set up progressively larger and larger problems for them to solve. And as the creator of the dojo, you are a curator of problems, right? You want to curate the problem to be of the right scope and type to meet them at the place that they're at right now.
Right. And that's amazing. And I think that that's one of the key leadership things we want to look for, right? Is you are a curator of problems. If you're a curator of solutions, then you're the hero. You're telling everybody how to do things and they just have to do it your way. And there are some work situations where that's appropriate, right? If you're working on the production line and your job is to do this same exact thing every 45 seconds all day long and never mess it up, like, then the solution is known. Like, that's not a problem solving challenge. That is an execution challenge. Right. But there are categories of things that require leadership, where really the primary job of the leader is to just define what is the size and shape of the problem that I need you to be working on solving right now. Right. And maybe it's a competition, you give several people to it, maybe there's a team, but appropriately scoping the problems is a really hard challenge, but is also one of the key unlocks for success. Don't over constrain the solution, just constrain the problem.